Good morning, students. Yesterday we discussed that about the civil disobedience movement, and this civil disobedience movement was started with the Salt March, and we know that this movement was called up by Gandhiji, and he entered into the Irvin Pact on 5th March 1931. And after that, when he returned back after attending the second round table conference from London, he was disappointed and he saw the new cycle of the repression was started by the colonial government to stop the Indian demonstrations, the boycotts, the meetings, and the Congress was also declared illegal. So Mahatma Gandhi relaunched the civil disobedience movement. But how participants saw this movement? That means now we are going to see that how the different social groups participated in the civil disobedience movement, what was their aspirations to join the movement, and what were their ideals, and exactly what was the meaning of the Swaraj for the different social groups. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the rich peasants. Rich peasants, basically in these communities, the Patidars from the Gujarat and the Jats of the Uttar Pradesh, these were the two rich peasants communities who were active in this movement. And these were the producers, and these were the rich peasants, those who were the producers of the commercial crops just like indigo, tea, coffee, all such commercial crops. So these peasants were hit by the trade depression. As I said yesterday also, that due to the economic depression during the 1930, it was difficult for the peasants to pay the revenue. So that means these rich peasants were also too much affected by the depression, and because of the trade depression, the prices of the commodities fell down and their income was also reduced, and now it was very difficult for them to pay the revenue to the government. So the rich peasants in the beginning, they were so much enthusiastic to participate in the civil disobedience movement, and they were participating in the boycott programs also. And for them, exactly, the fight for the Swaraj was a struggle against the revenue. That means they participated in the civil disobedience movement only in the against of the high revenues, and the government was reluctant for the demands of the rich peasants. And when this movement was again started without the revenue, when this movement was called off by Gandhiji without the revenue rates being revised, and when this movement was again restarted in the 1932, this rich peasants category refused to participate, because when this movement was started in the beginning, they participated in this movement with the enthusiasm, and they participated in this movement only for the one demand. That means what was their aspirations for this movement? Their aspiration was to reduce the revenue which they had to pay to the colonial government. But when this movement was called off without revising the new rates of the revenue, they become angry, and their demand was also refused by the government, which creates a resentment among them also. Now the second category is the poor peasants. Now the poor peasants also participated in the civil disobedience movement, but when they participated in this movement, their main demand was not only to lower down the revenue, but maximum small category or the marginal farmers or the poor peasants were cultivating the land on the rent basis. So for them, the demand was not only limited to reduce the revenue, but they wanted that the rent should be reduced, or it was difficult for them, because at the time of the economic depression, when the rich peasants found very difficult to pay the revenue, at the same time it was difficult for the poor peasants also to pay the rent to the landlords. So they joined a variety of the radical movements, whatever the movement started by the socialists or the communists, and they were raising their issues for the no rent camping. But this demand was also, Congress was unwilling to support the no rent campings. That means for Congress, this was not the particular demand for the civil disobedience movement. For them, the meaning of the Swaraj was different, as poor peasants were thinking the meaning of the civil disobedience movement. So when their demand was not fulfilled by the Congress, and when they found that Congress was also unwilling to support their no rent camping, so the relationship between the poor peasants and the Congress was not up to the mark, or maybe we can say it was not good. Now the next category, that was business classes. business classes during the First World War, they had made huge profits. This thing we had already discussed in the industrialization chapter, that when Britain was engaged in the First World War, so during that time period, Indian industrialists like G.D. Birla, Purushottam Das, so many industrialists were there, those who earned lot of profit on that time. They made huge profits, and maximum Indian textile industries also worked in the multiple shifts. They earned lot of profits. Maximum Indian handlooms worked for the world war, for the war needs items. So that means on that time maximum business class workers, they had lot of huge profits. So now they wanted to expand their businesses. So just because of that only, they started reacting in against of the colonial policies. That means what was the main interest of the business classes with the civil disobedience movement? That means when the first time this movement was started, on that time they participated in this movement, and they wanted the protection against the imports of the foreign goods. That means first of all they wanted that there should be more custom duty should be imposed on the imports of the foreign goods, so it will automatically discourage the consumption of the foreign goods in the Indian economy. And along with that, they wanted the rupee sterling foreign exchange rate that should be increased, so it will discourage the imports also. So now in these days rupee and dollar foreign exchange ratio हम लोग देखते हैं. So in that same way rupee sterling foreign exchange ratio was there, which will automatically discourage the imports. And to increase their business or trade and industry, they formed an organization also. They formed Indian Industrial Commercial Congress in 1920 and FICCI, Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries, in 1927. And these organizations were led by the prominent industrialists like Purushottam Das, Thakur Das, G.D. Birla. And these industries tried to attack over the Indian economy. These industrialists attacked colonial control over the Indian economy, and they supported the civil disobedience movement when first time it was started. And even they gives the financial assistance also to the different industrialists to expand their business, to expand their trade and industries. And along with that, they refuse to buy and sell the imported goods also. So most of the businessmen, for them the meaning of the Swaraj was to create the restrictions on the business, so that restrictions on the import, so that their business can flourish in the Indian economy, and trade and industries would flourish without any restrictions in India. But after the failure of the Round Table Conference, when this movement again when it was started, these business industrialist groups were not willing to participate in this movement again. And along with that, they were worried about the long disruption of the business also, because for the long time they cannot stop their business just to earn the profit only. So because of that only they were worried. And even as well as the whatever the growing influence of the socialism amongst the younger members of the Congress, with that also they were too worried. So business class industrialists or the business class people, they participated in this movement just because they wanted the protection against the imports of the foreign goods. And for that only they formed the two organizations. First one was the Indian Industrial and the Commercial Congress, and second one was the FICCI, that was the Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Because these business classes earned lot of profit at the time of the First World War, so they wanted that Indian business, trade and industries would flourish in Indian economy without any constraint, without any restrictions. So just because of that only they participated this movement, so that the government could impose taxes on the imports of the goods. Next one is the working class. Working class was not that much active as compared to the rich peasants, poor peasants and the business class in the civil disobedience movement. Only in the Nagpur region, few industrial working classes was engaged in this and they participated in this movement. And when the industrialists also came closer, the business classes people, when they came close to the Congress, on that time also the workers were stayed aloof. That means they were away from the civil disobedience movement. But in some areas, some workers did participated in this movement, and they accepted few programs of Gandhiji, just like boycott of the foreign goods, and along with that they participated in this movement for their own demand, and their demand was against the low wages and the poor working condition. And some strikes was also started by the railway workers in 1930 and by the dock workers in 1932. And in 1930, maximum workers in the Chota Nagpur mines, they started wearing Gandhi caps and they participated in the protest rallies and the boycott campaigns also. But Congress was reluctant to their demand. That means for them the meaning of the Swaraj was different, and they were reluctant to include the demand of the low wages and the poor working condition in their Swaraj program. So because of that only, the workers did not participate in the same way as the rich peasants, poor peasants participated. And now the last group, that was the women. This is also the important feature of the civil disobedience movement, because the women, they also participated at the large scale. And during the Gandhiji's Salt March, maximum thousands of the women participated in his Dandi March, and they came out from their homes and they listened to him. Even they participated in the protest, in the rallies, they manufactured the salt, and even they picketed the foreign clothes and the liquor shops also. And many thousands of the women went to jail also. Maximum women from the urban areas belongs to the high caste families. Similarly, in the rural areas, women belong to the rich peasants' households. And with the call of a Gandhiji, they were ready to give their services, and they felt that to see their services to the nation as a sacred duty of the women. That means they participated in the movements very enthusiastically, but Gandhiji was convinced that it is the moral duty of the women to fulfill the duties at home, to look after their home and be a good wife and a good mother. And even the Congress was also reluctant to allow the women to hold any position or any authority in the Congress. So women also participated in this movement where first time it was started.